Welcome to Forever Tales, where every story lives on forever. It was just past midnight at Changi International Airport, Singapore, when Flight SQ221, an Airbus A380 bound for Sydney, prepared for departure. The massive aircraft, glistening under the floodlights, stood like a metallic beast ready to conquer the skies. Captain Ravi Subramanian, a veteran pilot with over 15,000 flight hours, sat confidently in the cockpit beside First Officer Amelia, one of Singapore Airlines' most promising young aviators. "Winds look stable in Singapore," Amelia said, scanning her screen. "But Sydney's forecast shows a strong cold front moving in earlier than expected." Ravi nodded. "We'll keep an eye on it. This A380's a beast. She can handle turbulence. But we'll fly smart." Passengers boarded with sleepy smiles, unaware that they were stepping into what would become one of the most talked-about flights in aviation history. Business class passengers reclined, economy seats filled with chatter, and the soft hum of safety briefings echoed through the world's largest passenger jet. As the engines roared to life, the aircraft taxied onto runway 20C. "Tower, Singapore 221 ready for departure," Ravi called. "Singapore 221 cleared for takeoff." Winds calm, the throttles pushed forward, and the A380 accelerated, its four Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engines producing a thunderous growl. Within moments, the world's largest commercial aircraft gracefully lifted off the ground, cutting through the night sky like a silver arrow. The flight climbed smoothly, and within an hour, passengers were asleep, unaware of what awaited them over Australia. Midway through the flight, Amelia received an updated weather report from Sydney. Winds gusting up to 65 knots, heavy rain, and unpredictable crosswinds sweeping the runway. Ravi leaned back, exhaling. This might get rough. Hours later, as dawn broke over the Tasman Sea, lightning illuminated the horizon. The A380 began its descent towards Sydney. Rain lashed against the windshield, and the sky turned a deep, stormy grey. The air traffic controller's voice crackled through the radio. "Singapore 221, be advised. Severe wind shear reported on final approach runway 16R. "Copy that," Ravi replied. "We'll attempt a visual approach." The passengers stirred awake as the aircraft rocked violently. The seatbelt signs flashed on. Flight attendants hurried down the aisles, securing everything in sight. A voice came over the intercom, calm but firm. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing severe weather in Sydney, but we're well within safety limits. Please remain seated and fasten your seatbelts." The passengers obeyed, unaware that outside, 200 tons of aircraft were about to face nature's fury head-on. As the A380 approached Sydney airspace, turbulence grew violent. Sheets of rain hammered the fuselage, and flashes of lightning momentarily lit the clouds. Inside the cockpit, Amelia gripped the controls as the aircraft bounced through unstable air. "Wind shear warning." The system blared. "Disengage autopilot. Manual control," Ravi ordered. The massive jet shuddered as Ravi took over. The runway appeared in the distance, barely visible through the torrential rain. Crosswinds tore across the tarmac at nearly 60 knots. "Runway in sight," Amelia reported. "But we're drifting right." "Correcting," Ravi said, adjusting the rudder. The aircraft yawed sharply, aligning with the runway centerline. On the ground, spotters and plane enthusiasts with cameras were already filming. They had heard the warnings. As the giant A380 approached, it seemed to dance erratically in the storm, wings flexing like a living creature fighting the wind. Sink rate, the automated voice warned. Ravi pulled slightly. "Easy." "Come on, girl!" The plane's nose tilted upward, engines roaring as they fought to maintain lift. Just 100 feet above the ground, a massive gust slammed into the left side of the aircraft, tilting it dangerously. Gasps echoed through the cabin. Go around, go around!" Amelia shouted. "Toga power!" Ravi commanded, pushing the throttles forward. The A380 surged upward again, disappearing into the clouds. The passengers screamed, some crying, others praying. Coffee cups flew, and oxygen masks jiggled in their compartments. It wasn't fear, it was pure chaos. After stabilizing, Ravi exhaled, sweat dripping down his forehead. "We'll try again, but if the wind gets any worse, we divert." The second approach came 15 minutes later. The storm had only intensified. Amelia's hands trembled slightly as she monitored instruments. Wind 320 at 55 knots, gusting 70, she read aloud. Hold steady, Ravi murmured. We're committed now. As they lined up once more, the aircraft yawed violently left and right. The landing gear deployed with a thunderous thud. Minimums, Amelia said, meaning the point of no return. Landing, Ravi confirmed. The A380 descended fast. Crosswinds slammed its wings. It touched down, but only the right gear made contact, bouncing the aircraft violently. The left wing dipped alarmingly close to the runway. Sparks flew as a wheel scraped the wet surface. Reverse thrust, Ravi barked. Engines roared backward. The plane fishtailed but slowly regained control, spraying water behind it like a storm itself. Finally, the giant slowed, rolling safely to a stop. Silence. Then applause erupted throughout the cabin. Tears, laughter, disbelief. The crew exchanged glances, exhausted but relieved. Ladies and gentlemen, Ravi's voice came over the speakers, calm as ever. Welcome to Sydney. That was quite a landing. Within minutes, videos from plane spotters at Sydney Airport began flooding social media. The footage was unreal, the A380 tilting dramatically in crosswinds, almost scraping its wing, before touching down perfectly. Headlines exploded across aviation forums. Wildest A380 landing ever captured. Singapore Airlines captain defies nature. Ravi and Amelia were escorted to the terminal by airport officials and reporters eager for a statement. Captain, what went through your mind during that landing? One journalist asked. Ravi smiled faintly. Honestly? Just the checklist. Always trust your training and your aircraft. The footage went viral worldwide within hours. Aviation experts praised the crew's precision and composure. That landing, one analyst said on TV, was textbook airmanship. The A380 is massive. Handling it like that in 70-knot crosswinds is extraordinary. Passengers who had been on board started sharing their experiences online. I thought we were done for, one wrote. But the pilots were absolute heroes, another posted. The entire plane clapped when we landed. It felt like surviving a movie. Singapore Airlines released an official statement commending the pilots and reaffirming their safety-first values. The company even used the incident as part of their next training scenario for pilots, the Sydney Storm simulation. Meanwhile, Captain Ravi avoided fame. The storm did its part, we did ours, he said humbly. Amelia, however, became an inspiration to aspiring pilots. Her calmness under pressure earned her recognition across aviation circles. Weeks later, the Sydney Control Tower replayed the radar data and footage. Astonished by how close the A380 came to disaster, it became a case study in modern flight training. Titled Controlled Against Chaos, SQ221's Sydney Approach. But for those who witnessed it live, the passengers, the crew, the spotters in the rain, it wasn't just a case study. It was a reminder of how fragile, yet powerful, human skill and technology can be when faced with the raw might of nature. And every time someone sees the viral video, the massive A380 dancing in a storm, landing as if defying physics, they remember that night when 471 souls flew through chaos and touched down safely because two pilots refused to give up.